Have you ever wondered why people sometimes want to experience feelings of anxiety and fear? What makes many people play horror games and watch horror movies? Is it adrenaline, the hormone that is produced in moments of real or imagined danger? Adrenaline makes your heart beat much faster, your pupils dilate, and your hearing reacts to the slightest rustle. Maybe in a thrill or something else, that I don't know. Personally, I take great pleasure in testing myself when I play horror games. I don't even know if there's a more fun and interesting way to spend time than playing a quality horror game. And if you're in this video, it means that we have something in common, namely an interest in horror games. An interest in games that makes you shiver in your chest and get goosebumps. I love that feeling. I invite you to dive into this nightmarish and uncharted world of horror games. Today, I will tell you about the top 10 horror games on mobile devices. I promise, the experience you will get will be unforgettable. Slenderman Origins 3. If you like horror games, you should definitely pay attention to Slenderman Origins 3. This part of the popular game franchise offers a truly terrifying experience that will keep you in suspense from beginning to end. The game's story is engaging and the graphics are top-notch, making it exciting and engaging. And while the game is definitely not for the faint of heart, it strikes a great balance between atmosphere and action, with plenty of thrilling moments but still maintaining a creepy and unsettling atmosphere. In fact, it scares players so effectively that it has become a cult classic in the horror game genre. And if you want to be even more scared, be sure to check out the PC version of the game, which offers even more immersive gameplay and chilling moments. So if you're ready to face your fears and go to the world of Slenderman, this game is a must-play. Let's move on. Deranged. Deranged is a first-person mobile survival horror in the style of Resident Evil. The gameplay of the game is most reminiscent of its second part, and the atmosphere of the original first part. In Deranged, you also need to wander around the mansion and solve puzzles to advance in the story. Although, instead of zombies, we will have creepy and strange monsters against us. One of the monsters looks like a weird guy with tentacles. The graphics in the game is a little bit weak, but personally, I think that for a horror game, it is normal, because the most important thing in such games is an atmosphere. And here, it is on a very high level. Deranged is one of the best representatives of classic horror games, so it is definitely worth to pay your attention to it. Endless Nightmare. One of the most famous and high-quality games in the horror genre in recent times. Yes, it is Endless Nightmare. In the story, we will play as a police officer who investigates the murder of his wife and child in his own house. After this incident, the protagonist started to have nightmares and hallucinations. But soon he realized that all this happens to him for a reason. As you go through the game to look for clues, to hide from the ghosts and gradually come closer and closer to the solution. With full confidence I can say that Endless Nightmare is a great horror game on Android. Antarctica 88. Next, I will introduce you to Antarctica 88. It is a little bit different from other games of similar genre because the main attention is paid to the atmosphere. By the way, it is one of the best games with a winter theme. The action here takes place in Antarctica, and as the protagonist, we need to find out what happened to our father, who went to the expedition and why he doesn't get in touch. You can see that while making this game, the developers were inspired by John Carpenter's movie The Thing. By the way, it's a great movie, you can watch it forever. Most probably, the game got to the top because of the movie. Solve puzzles, fight monsters, and experience the horror and atmosphere of killer Antarctica to the fullest. Colina Legacy. Sometimes it happens that a game is first released on PC and then ported to mobile devices. So, it happened in this case. Colina Legacy is a very high-quality indie horror game from PC to Android. We will play as a guy named Alex. According to the plot, Alex does not understand what is happening to him and how he even found himself in his grandmother's house. When the protagonist woke up in the house, there was no one around, and his intuition told him that something terrible happened. In this game, you need to move a lot, and during the whole gaming process, you need to solve different puzzles and riddles. Also, you have to avoid collision with monsters in every possible way. Even though it is an indie project, it looks of high quality. Will you be able to find the answers to all the questions and find out where the family of the main character is missing? Case Animatronics. This game has also been ported from the PC, and its name is Case Animatronics. One of the scariest mobile games I've ever played before. Although the animatronics mostly look like metal plush toys, it's only a shell that hides the real horror behind. The game all the time keeps in a strong tension and does not give pause and calm down. We'll be playing for Detective John Bishop, who by pure coincidence was delayed until midnight. All the other workers except for him have long since left. As it turns out, the police station was de-energized, the security system was out of order, and all the exits were blocked. But all of this is just the tip of the iceberg. The game is great for anyone who wants to get old before their time. I was kidding, although the game does have a scary atmosphere and very loud screamers, so you will definitely have to wipe the sweat off your forehead. Knock knock knock. I'm more than sure this is the creepiest 2D horror game on Android. According to the plot, we need to play for the caretaker of the old castle, but strange as it may sound, we need to look after the caretaker himself. The game is made in a nice cartoon style, but that does not prevent it to scare the crap out of you. The main instrument of building fear is the game of light. Your brain draws creepy pictures with nightmarish monsters every night, which, let's say, aren't very far from reality. If we ever come face to face with our fears, we are sure to go crazy. A level is considered passed if the protagonist manages to keep his sanity until dawn. You never know what awaits you in the next darkly filled room. Forgotten Memories. The bronze in today's top goes to the horror game Forgotten Memories. I'm sure it's the highest quality mobile horror game we've seen in a long time. In the story, we get to play as a girl who deals with, shall we say, juvenile cases. Playing as a girl, we have to find the missing child. First, we have to go through a theater, then a psychiatric clinic. In technical terms and graphics, this game beats many, even the major projects. Despite the fact that it's an Android game, at first glance, it may seem quite different, because everything is made as in the best horror games. Creepy music and sounds, oppressive atmosphere, classic gameplay as in Resident Evil, and in the end, a confusing and intriguing plot. If you've been looking for a truly high-quality horror game for mobile devices, congratulations, you found it! Dead Space. In second place is the game Dead Space. Most likely, many, if not played it, at least heard about it. Personally, I adore horror games with space themes, such as Alien, Prometheus, Through the Horizon. All of these masterpieces were inspiration for the developers. Here, we will also have to wander the dark decks of a spaceship and fight creepy necromorphs. The game completely copies the gameplay of its elder fellows. Although the game has long been outdated, no other horror game still reaches its quality. Maybe someone has not yet played this masterpiece, but now you can find a patch for a version of the game for modern devices on the network, so you can re-immerse yourself in this dystopian space horror without stopping anything. Silent Hill. The winner of our top game today is Silent Hill. It may sound too loud, but it's the best mobile horror game mankind has created so far. Now you don't need to look for other games, all you have to do is to download this masterpiece of the horror genre. Yes, the graphics in the game are far from the most pleasant point, especially in modern times. But if you like horror games, it's not a problem for you, is it? As far as I'm concerned, All self-respecting horror players just have to pass it. I promise, having played just half an hour, you'll be drawn in so much that you won't want to leave the game at all. The game is so scary and atmospheric that it's sometimes worth taking short breaks. When I played it myself, it was getting to the point where I got a huge headache. Here, you will fully know what fear means. In the story, we will play as Harry Mason, who has gone with his daughter to the town of Silent Hill. But when he came to town, he had an accident, and when he woke up, his daughter was not with him. Now he has to explore the mysterious town and find his daughter. I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I did making it. If you're a fan of horror games, then you know how hard it is to find good horror games on mobile devices. But fear not, because these 10 games are definitely worth your time. If you agree with my opinion, or if you have other horror games you would like to recommend, please leave a comment below. Wishing you and your loved ones good health and fun horror games. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to get more content about all kinds of games. Until next time, stay scared, strengthen your nerves.